And I've also been told that the teenagers who are supposedly my audience have given up on Facebook because it's been taken over by their grandmothers.
It's not so cool anymore. Now it's Tumblr, it's Snapchat, Instagram is huge with the tweens.
So,
so yeah, that's basically probably one of the most important things is that if your audience speaks Italian, you better learn Italian. But if your audience speaks digital, you need to learn digital. And if they do Snapchat, guess what you need to do?
Yes, I guess so. I've also been trying to, not trying, but I've been posting my book on various websites that invite readers to come and read and do reviews.
Sure.
I try to hit just about every website that I can find that will post my book. And also, now I'm looking into where I can talk about my books on their blog. And then invite them to come to my blog.
Right.
This is really a full-time job.
It is. It is. So
I find myself working, and I don't like to say this because authors get discouraged, because if I tell you that I work 5 hours a day on this, they'll say, but I want to write. And I'll say, I want to write. So my plan is that I'm going to look for every free and cheap site that I can find until December, and then I will maintain what I have, and then I'm going to write. Right. Because I just can't. I mean, this is, unless somebody pays me for it, it's not worth it. It just is not worth it.
But to your point, and going back to what we said before about the analytics, so you list your book on this site, you get it reviewed on this site, and all these different things, but you need to see that traffic coming into the website, and you need to see them go through the funnel and to the thank you page, or to that, thank you for purchasing, or thank you for contacting us, or thank you for signing up for a newsletter. So, you get to see, are these things bearing fruit?
Okay. All right. I don't have a thank you page. I have to put a thank you page.
Got to have a thank you page, because that's what you're going to track, because they can't get to the thank you page without going through the funnel.
Right.
And then you want to see where they drop off. Because if they drop off, maybe you need to rework that page.
Now, I have a newsletter in place. I mean, I send it out at least once a month.
Perfect.
And so, but I don't have subscribed to my newsletter, so of course I have to put that on and then get a thank you page. Oh, thank you.
And make sure you say share and forward to a friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that we're getting good at that now.
Good.
So, so I've done. Let's see what I haven't done, because this is important to authors, I think.
Yeah.
I have a website. Emails, I use emails pretty much to reach out to people for various events and things like that. But text, I don't do text. I don't think they're any different from emails or any other way of, but I'm probably wrong.
Well, you were talking about the teens. The teens
would
rather text than email. Email's not even cool for them.
No, oh, of course not. No, and now I know it's texting, and do I want to really do that? So, in your estimation, what's the best social media site? Or does it depend on what you want? It depends on your
audience. Not what you want, what your audience wants. Because that's kind of, this is where you want to focus your efforts. It's got nothing to do with you. It's everything about what they want, what they prefer, where they hang out, where they spend time, where they talk. So I would say invest your time in research. Research your audience. Google, of course, is one of the best places to research. Keyword research through a planning tool like Google Keyword Planner. If you Google Keyword Planner, it's a free tool from Google. Use that. Get on the phone with people. Anybody who you know to be your target audience, interview them and take a lot of notes. Build a profile. A couple of different people, kind of merge consolidate the information together and get a beat.
Yeah, sometimes I learn more when I'm doing a book fair by talking to the people who are buying the books than I learn anywhere else. So let's see, what else do we have here? What's next? For you, what's next?
Oh, what's next for me? I'll say what's next in digital media. No. It's 5 minutes from now, it'll be different.
Yes, I know. We don't know what's next in digital media.
But what's next for me? I've been, I was toying around with another book, but I've actually been writing ebooks. These different series of ebooks. The latest one is called "Why Aren't We on Page 1 of Google?" And that's the question. And how did I come up with that title? I didn't come up with it. My audience came up with it, because that's the question. People would ask me all the time, "Oh, how come we don't come up on Google? Why aren't we on page 1 of Google?" And so I said, Perfect title for the book.
Now, you have connected culture in ebook form, but you also, what is the 7 Digital Secrets?
The 7 Digital Secrets is basically a companion to the book. The book is, it's a nice read, but you can't stop there. You need to do the exercises, you need to do the workbooks, and at the end of every major chapter, there's a downloadable workbook. So you read the chapter, you know what the technology is, who's using it successfully, how do you choose the right platform for you, do's and don'ts, best practices, how to integrate it with other types of media. So you get all of that, and then you say, okay, this is great information, but do something about it. So that's what this companion series is every single week for 7 weeks. It takes you through step by step, okay, make sure you read this chapter and now download this workbook and fill it out and do that by the next week because you're going to have another assignment the next week. So this email series called autoresponders, and it's another thing in the email chapter of the book.
Can you explain autoresponder?
Autoresponders, it's a series of emails. So this autoresponder is 7 emails. So on week 1, once you subscribe, you get 1 of 7, okay? And then the next week, you get 2 of 7. Okay. The next week, 3 of 7, 4 or 5, 7, et cetera, et cetera. You can opt out at any time if it's not for you.
So then I have this book on my Kindle, so at the end of the book, it'll tell me how to get the 7?
Right. Well,
what link? A link?
In the book are the workbooks. So if you're if you're the type of person that has made a commitment and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna figure out social media and I'm gonna use this as a tool, and you do the workbooks, then you probably don't need the email series. But most people need that holding hand.
Oh yeah.
And if anything, just the reminders. Hey, did you do this? Did you read this? And now download this and do this, and it's helpful.
Because I read most of this, but and then I was working on I'm constantly working on that stuff, so I'm doing some of it, but I probably need a reminder. Having been a teacher for 1,000 years, I know the value of a workbook, and I know the value of practice because my computer lady comes and she sits with me for 2 hours and she teaches me 2 or 3 things, but if I don't do them, I can't remember how to do them because there are so many. Even though I find that I am learning that the stuff done on the computer is pretty intuitive. It pretty much. There'll be 1 or 2 programs you'll come across that have some silly glitch in them that you didn't click on something, but most of them just kind of work the same way. So, any books in the offing?
I have working on, I just finished it, a research study on digital marketing trends. So it's a nice little download, and anybody who connects with me online on Twitter, on Facebook, anything like that, if you ask for it, I'll give it to you. So don't be afraid to ask.
Did you hear that? Thank you, Jerry. This was really very informative, and I am hoping that my author friends were listening to you carefully, because I certainly did.